Alright guys, we are back with our fifth and final segment of the night where we'll be talking about the Rangers and the Florida Panthers in Game 2. I was able to watch the first period before I got on this show, and since then it has been the exact same. It is still 1-1 in this game. The third period is just now starting. It's 17 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third period, so fortunate for me, it seems like I'll be able to watch the end of it. But unfortunate for me, I am not able to really declare a winner just yet, so I can't really talk about what this game means for each team because it's 1-1. We don't know. Either team could win this from this point on, so I guess I'll just talk about what it means for each team to win. We talked about it in that second segment. The Florida Panthers, how great they're playing. What I saw in this first period is how they're just dominating physically on this New York Rangers team. If you guys were able to watch that first period, there was a moment there where it was a Dmitry Orlov blow to Alexander Wenberg on his head. It looked like it was going to be a 5-minute major, but they only called it 2 minute because most of the contact was in the body, but the initial contact was in the head. So I was a little bit shocked to see that. Of course, it's playoff hockey. That might be the reasoning the officials kind of use with themselves. When you're making a call like that, you can't really give 5 minutes out in playoff hockey. Show me the times that they've done that and if it wasn't clear and obvious for why they did that. But for this game, you get a goal from the Florida Panthers by Carter Verhaeghe, Anton Lundell, Sam Bennett. Were the ones with the assist. How great has that line been for them in the playoffs? I feel like I talk about them almost every show I do here, talking about the Florida Panthers, talking about that line. It's what TJ said in that second segment for the Florida Panthers is that forecheck really for them being so aggressive, so fast, so physical, and that's creating offensive zone turnovers. When you get offensive zone turnovers, they result in goals almost every time. So the Florida Panthers look very dangerous in this playoffs, but still, for me, the New York Rangers still look amazing. It seems like Sergei Bobrovsky is completely shutting the door. He really wants this cup. This will be the first of his career. What a storied career. If he doesn't get a cup, that would be a shame. Of course, you could probably blame being on the Flyers, Blue Jackets, and Panthers for that. Not really teams that hoist the Stanley Cup too often, since the Broad Street Bullies aren't a thing anymore, and Philadelphia and the Blue Jackets have sucked their entire history, and the Florida Panthers are the Florida Panthers. So unfortunate for Bob that he hasn't been able to hoist one, but he's really, really trying to do one. He's really trying to do so this year. Being able to win this game for the Florida Panthers would be everything. Going up 2-0 with 3 games at home, having to win only 66% of your home games to win a series is massive. So for the Florida Panthers, that would be such an important win for them, getting this, especially beating the New York Rangers on the road in Madison Square Garden. We talk about how loud that environment is and how hostile Madison Square Garden is. We saw it with the Knicks against the Sixers in their series, and then the Knicks against the Pacers in their series. We're seeing it again with the Rangers and how they use that to their advantage. So I would be utterly shocked if the Florida Panthers take both games on the road, but they definitely can, and they definitely have an opportunity to do so. The New York Rangers just aren't scoring, and that's a shock for me with how lethal and how deadly their top six is. Not seeing that that forward group get goals is a shock. Averaging half a goal per game right now in this Eastern Conference Final is not how you get it done. We talked about Sergei Bobrovsky absolutely shutting the door. Igor Shesterkin on the other side is definitely doing his part for the New York Rangers. Only 2 goals against in game 1. Only 1 goal against so far through 44 minutes in this one. In hockey, if you're able to get only 2 goals against out of your goaltender, you should be winning hockey games. Igor Shesterkin is giving it to them, but Sergei Bobrovsky is, as TJ put it, out-dueling him. But it's a duel of 2 sharpshooters. It's not anything that we've seen before. These 2 goaltenders, these 2 Russian goaltenders are absolutely going at it. I talked about it in my series preview, how important Igor Shesterkin and Sergei Bobrovsky were going to be for these respective teams, and they've really proved that to be right. the reason this series is looking like it is, the reason the Panthers are winning, and the reason that the Rangers aren't absolutely getting blown out of the water is because of these goaltenders. Of course, I can't talk too much on this game because I have not been able to watch it, but I definitely will do so and really give you guys my takes and opinions on this game once I come back on Monday from the weekend. But for the New York Rangers, they really need to win this one. It'll be so important if they do so. Splitting at home isn't the worst thing in the world. We see it all the time. They definitely can win the series from that point onward. But we're just scrutinizing everything that they do because, of course, they were the Stanley Cup favorites going into this one. President's Trophy winners. They unfortunately have the President's Trophy curse. They were looking to be the one team to break that curse, though. Of course, no team has won the Stanley Cup while also winning the President's Trophy since the, I want to say, 2013 Chicago Blackhawks, I believe, were the last team to do so, win the Stanley Cup and the President's Trophy in the same year. So to see the New York Rangers doing poorly in this round isn't a shock to the people that have been following hockey for the last decade. It did seem like they were going to break the curse, though. I talked about it when they won up 3-0 against the Carolina Hurricanes. It's only happened a handful of times where a team has gone 7-0 through the first 7 games of the playoffs, and on every single one of those occasions, the team has at least made it to the Stanley Cup Final. So this would be, history if they are unable to do so. They were looking so dangerous. I guess the Carolina Hurricanes, it seems like they were able to crack a code when it came to this New York Rangers team. I'm just a little bit shocked that they are not able to kind of blow this one open, I guess I would say. These two teams are the best two teams in the Eastern Conference. We've seen it throughout the regular season. We saw it last year in the playoffs, how the Florida Panthers went all the way to the Stanley Cup. Of course, the New York Rangers not having the best playoffs last year, but this year winning the President's Trophy, we clearly saw the difference. And it's not a surprise that these teams are the ones that we saw. Again, I am surprised that the New York Rangers are unable to score, I guess. Sergei Bobrovsky, of course, is a Vezina candidate this year, so he's been playing some of his best goaltending in his very storied career. But for the Florida Panthers, I don't see. This is what's hard for the Florida Panthers because I don't think that they can keep this going consistently. It's not about anything about the physicality. That's of course going to be there. But getting this production from Bob it's not a shock. We've seen it throughout his career, but at this stage of his career, I think it's a little bit of a shock. I don't expect him to be what we're used to of seeing of Bobrovsky being that top 5 goaltender in the league. Especially outdueling Igor Shesterkin, who is the best goaltender in the league. He proves that so often. It's a real surprise. And it's kind of funny that I'm saying this, that it's surprising that he's outdueling the goaltender on the other side, because let's look at this playoff run here. Igor Shesterkin right now against the Rangers. That's a top 5 goaltender in the league, in my opinion, the best. The second round, Jeremy Swayman. That's a top 5 goaltender in the league. A lot of people can say that he is the best, and I don't think I would argue with that entirely. And then in the first round, they play the Tampa Bay Lightning, Andrei Vasilevsky, who has been a top 5 goaltender in the league for the past decade. So I shouldn't be shocked that Bobrovsky is outdoing a goaltender that is fantastic, very impressive. Especially me being a Blue Jackets fan, watching it for my entire childhood, Bobrovsky outdueling fantastic goaltenders. But at this stage of his career, I can honestly say that I'm shocked that he's doing so. So that'll wrap it up for our Friday podcast. It was great. It was great to have Jeremy Lapidus and TJ McBrady on this show here, other creators from the GSMC Sports Network. Down in the description of this live stream will be their show podcast playlist links if you guys want to check them out. They do great work. But without without further ado, that was the GSMC Hockey Podcast. If you guys would like to subscribe, follow, or like the show, please do so. It really helps us out. All the support that we get really does help us out. And of course, if you want to support the creators in any way, the tips and donations link is gsmcpodcast.net. But thank you for tuning in and have a great evening.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go